We all set. Okay. We are live on YouTube.
All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the September. My gosh, the summer's gone, isn't it? The regular September meeting of the Waltham Public Library Board of Trustees. Like to say hi to everybody attending via Zoom as well as maybe on YouTube. Like to have attendance. Look like everybody's here. Okay, sounds good. Minutes of the previous meeting. Look good to me. I noticed one perhaps spell check thing that had popped in on the under expenditure report in the third line over on the right. This is a result to, I thought maybe of might be the right, might be another possible word there.
Yeah.
I'll correct that on.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Thank you.
Make a motion to accept the August minutes.
Okay, there was a motion to accept and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly carries. All right. Expenditure report. Steve, yep.
I was just going to say, for the heck of it, I just turned on the Zoom meeting, and on that computer it shows everybody but Alan, because I know, Alan, you're not on the screen. So if anybody wants to see everybody, you have two screens. You can look at the Zoom meeting, but don't put on the sound because it's behind.
The YouTube meeting?
The
Yeah.
YouTube meeting, yeah. Just for the heck of it, I went that way.
You're one of those two monitor guys, huh?
Yeah, I'm debating on three, but that's neither here nor there. I could use a third one a lot of the time.
Yeah. All righty. See expenditure report.
We don't have our August expenditure for the city yet, so I don't have that available to share, but there shouldn't be anything too shocking that's come up in the past month. I did want to actually clarify that communication line. That's actually our new, it's our new line item for the Comcast bill. So for our internet. So just to clarify that from the last meeting. But yes, other than that, it's not available right now. We're actually, the city's clearing out some of our lingering purchase orders. So from last fiscal year, some stuff has gotten carry forwarded. So I was actually thinking that might be part of the delay, but I will send it along as it's available to us.
Okay. No lingering issues that you're aware of, just catching up on closing it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, again, nothing on our end. We're just waiting for it.
Sounds good. All righty. Report on library operations.
So our stats, I apologize, we just actually got the circulation stats yesterday, so they're all formatted now. They're not amazing to look at when you look at the, you know, the percentage change from last year. Obviously, us being closed is, it's not amazing. But I think on, you know, considering where we are right at the moment, they're not horrific. I wanted to point out that last month in July, at the meeting in August, we looked at the July stats and where we were in terms of our position in terms of Minuteman circulation. So in July, we were number 15 on the list. And actually for August, we've jumped down to number 12, which is great because the goal is to get us in that top 10.
Sure.
Number one, I'm not sure if that'll ever happen, but moving us down to the top 10. So we are trending the right way. We are doing tons and tons of circulation with things coming in at the drop-in, you know, just sort of coming without an appointment and grabbing their holds. And we have some browsing available for them right there. So all things considered, I'm super happy about that. I mean, a 3-point jump within 4 weeks, particularly during the summer. I'm very happy about that. So staff are working super, super hard.
Where does overdrive show on the stats? We have the nice Excel page that shows the various ones broken out. Overdrive read, overdrive listen, overdrive audiobook.
The overdrive ebooks are under adult.
Yep.
And then the e-magazines are also overdrive. And then also under adult, further down, we have the downloadable audio broken out.
Okay.
The downloadable video, but Canopy and
Gotcha.
are they're obviously separate from.
Okay. So they're spread out a little more than on the nice consolidated Excel spreadsheet.
Correct.
More embedded in the other numbers. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
What was the date we closed down?
March 13th.
And what was the date we opened?
So we came back to work June 1st, and we started offering the contactless pickup that first Monday in June. Was that the 29th, I think? So our numbers for June even though we were here, they don't look so great in terms of circulation.
I disagree. I was going to say, I disagree. Based on what I'm looking at, I think these numbers are fabulous. I mean, given the fact that how much we were closed, and when we did open up again, it was very, a lot of people weren't coming forward to try to do anything. I would suggest if we could take a look at, as I assume we're going to be closed for a while longer, if we could kind of look at if we could do some kind of stats for like July, August, and September, just, I guess, and I know we've got them because we got it up there, just to get an idea of where we're going back at, because I'd like to see the trend in the new world, because I think in reality, to be down, just looking at the adults, 45, 46%, I think is tremendous, given the fact that you were down, and let's face it, in March, before the close down, a lot of people were already starting to self-isolate themselves anyway, because they were afraid before the state made it official. So I think even when we closed down in March, I think probably a week or two before that, I know I had clients that were canceling appointments to come in and see me because they were concerned about it, even though the state hasn't closed down. So I think what you guys have been doing has been a fabulous job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just look at the bottom line from July of 2020 to August of 21, to echo what Steve's saying, there's about a 20% or 25% increase there from 20,000 total circ in July to 24,000 in August.
Yeah.
So slicing it from month to month, it's a nice number.
Yes. Yeah, I honestly, staff is working so hard. And when you think about this is all just material being hand delivered, they really are. I think the staff are going above and beyond to get people what they want. It's a tough, this is people walking in and grabbing it, right? This is staff running to get it for them. So they're really working hard.
And I'm guessing in a lot of cases where people used to come into the library to pick up 1 or 2 books, and they'd pick up another to make it 2 or 3 books because they decided on another 1 or 2 as they saw them. Said, "Oh, I'll take that and that as well." You're not having that as they're just walking up the driveway to say, "Okay, I'm grabbing my 2 books that I've ordered." They're not picking up their 3rd and 4th one.
Right.
So I mean, I think in reality, it's been a fabulous comeback.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Has the interlibrary loan been kicking in?
So on our end, it is. We are doing as much as we possibly can to run the full paging list. I think I talked about this a little bit in the last meeting. There's, we can run it just for Waltham items, not Waltham patrons, but people who are coming to Waltham to pick up a Waltham owned item that's on the shelf. Yep. But we can also pull it for the whole system, and we're trying to start to pull it for the whole system. So sending items to outside libraries as well. The numbers are so great. It's for all.
Some pent up demand, huh?
Say that again.
Some pent up demand.
For sure. And we're working really hard at doing it. Every library is doing their own thing right now because Minuteman doesn't want to put the pressure, undue pressure on staff that are libraries that particularly have furloughed staff or have had to lay staff off, or people have a lot of accommodations and just don't have the numbers in the building. So we're doing our very best to get those numbers. We don't have interlibrary loan in terms of the Comcat, so the sort of statewide, that is not up and running yet. But in interlibraries between Minuteman, it's going. It's just a little bit slower than normal.
Okay,
I think
great.
everyone's working very hard. Yeah.
Good job there at Minuteman, huh?
Yes, they are. They're being awesome for sure. Nice to see everybody working together.
All right. Any other questions on stats?
No, that's good.
Okay.
That's it.
If not, personnel?
No changes in personnel right at the moment. No updates for that. Again, for Minuteman, we have been talking about redoing the paging, just the full paging list, but libraries are sort of tackling it on an individual basis. We have another membership meeting just next week, so probably more of an update after that. And just for the Friends meeting is actually tonight at 7. So
Okay.
I will have a better update for you at our next meeting. Again, not a huge update to have for them, but it'll be nice to just touch base and see them. They've been really, we've been touching in because they're still continuing to pay for our virtual programs and our Zoom membership so that we can get our programs out to as many people as possible, and just continuing to be as supportive as they can from a safe social distance. And they're all aware about not having the book sale this fall, and they've been really just about doing what they can to learn about. I've mentioned this before, but just some sort of what are the alternatives if things do get better, will we have a spring book sale, and if we don't, what are our other options for that? So we're exploring that together. They've been wonderful and very supportive.
Sounds good. Any new business?
I have a couple of new business items. I did want to share that we had our final numbers for the Bean Stack program. That was the summer reading, and this year we opened it up to the adults as well for the first time, which people got a big kick out of. We had about 336 total participants this summer, and the community read for a total of 155,835 minutes, which is great. We were aiming for 150, so we're just over our goal. We love to see all that great summer reading stuff. City Hall has just started offering appointments out to the public. So if from City Hall, various department buildings, not just physical City Hall, they can make an appointment to come in and do that. And I've just been in touch with them. I feel like what we're doing is already the same iteration of that in our own world, except we're not doing it by appointment. You just come by the hours that we're open, and we'll sort of self-serve or directly handle that right there for you. So just an update on what City Hall is doing. We have made a change. We weren't doing contact tracing. Originally, the Mass Board of Library Commissioners had indicated that the library should not do contact tracing for our privacy regulations that we stick to. However, that has actually been corrected, and the state is mandating contact tracing. So it's only on a as needed basis, and there are some privacy protections built into there, but the library now is doing contact tracing for anybody who comes in the building to pick up their material. So that's just a small change in our procedure, nothing life altering. And we're doing our best to let patrons know that as they come in, just because some people feel uncomfortable about it. We got a lot of fun children's programs coming up right now. We're doing a bilingual English-Spanish virtual yoga class on Saturdays for kids and families. So super excited about that. That'll be for 5 weeks. We actually booked our Halloween party, assuming we will not probably have 500 people in the building very safely. We have a virtual Halloween party coming, and we just booked the Toe Jam Puppet Band, which is always a huge hit with the community. So we're excited to offer that, and we've got some fun, safe social distancing ideas on the way for how we can celebrate Halloween from a distance. I have been working on two projects. One is, this is something I did when I first started 5 years ago. I've been meeting with all the staff individually, and I asked them all the same series of questions. I did it when I started, and it gave me a really great baseline on what the staff felt were like are things that we're doing really well, things that we still need to focus on. And I combine all the meetings are confidential, and then I combine all the answers into sort of one big sheet, which I will share with you. But it's been really, really valuable to have this one-on-one time with everybody on staff. I sort of leave it up to them how seriously they do or do not want to take it, but it's nice to really check in one-on-one with everybody. And so far, the feedback has just been so amazing and valuable. Staff have really great idea, but just really interesting to look at where we were 5 years ago and where we are today. And sort of just slightly anecdotally, one of the things that came up 5 years ago about something that really I think the question was, tell me something that's not working at the library. And I remember the staff overwhelmingly, almost all of them said to me, everybody's late. People are late coming back from snack. That's daycare talk, from their breaks. People are coming back from lunch, and like everybody mentioned it. And I remember thinking, like, how late can they how is this actually even a thing? And sure enough, talked about it. We developed some new policies and procedures, and nobody's ever late anymore. And it was interesting because there's a couple of people who have been here, throughout my whole time here, have just said, like, it's so different now, like nobody's late. And I was just like, you know what, we have made a lot of changes, but just, that's just sort of a funny anecdote. But it's really interesting to hear the feedback that I'm getting today versus the feedback that I got 5 years ago when I first started. So it's been a lot of fun, very, very valuable, good stuff coming from that. And the other exciting thing that we've been working on is we formed an internal team to look at racial equity and to put a racial equity lens on a lot of our internal and external policies, procedures, collections, and we're trying to really do the work to make sure that we're representing, we're as primarily a white staff, that we're doing the work so that we can as effectively represent the community that we serve as possible. So that's sort of just getting started. We're coming up with sort of some very clear objectives for the library moving forward, but it's been a really fabulous opportunity to talk and just further explore those ideas. So those are the sort of two new things on the agenda. I did want to mention our literacy coordinator, Aaron, has finished a first round of his ELL classes and got some really, really great feedback from his learners. And I'll actually email this out, but they're just really amazing feedback about how much they've learned, how much they've enjoyed this study, how much they enjoyed working with Aaron, just some really great feedback. And that was exciting to see because although Aaron's been here for almost a year, for a good portion of that year, it was COVID quarantine time. So it's nice to actually get a first real, proof, for lack of a word, of the difference that's making in the community. So even though the classes are virtual, making a big difference. I'm very excited to see that. And then the final kind of new business, but also kind of old business update is that Todd has been working, Todd and Julie, his assistant, have been working on our website updates. And their deadline is September 15th. So I'm very hoping on September 16th, I'll be able to email you all the new iteration of the Waltham Public Library website. And it looks amazing. I actually feel like I'll remind you over email, but you should spend a few minutes looking at our current website so you can refresh your minds with how terrible it is. And then you are going to be blown away. I saw the final draft and we're tweaking a couple more things. And I just was like, I love it. I love, 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 love it. I think I used love 7 times. I think it's the only time I've used the word love in a work email. I love it. They've done such a great job. I'm blown away. And they did this all in-house. I mean, a normal website can cost $100,000. So, they've been working all of this internally with other staff helping and participating certainly as well. But it's tremendous. And what I really love about it, what we've been talking about, is just this idea that because we have full control over it, we can make changes very quickly. So if something's not working for the community, it's a great learning opportunity for all of us to just tweak it right in the moment and not have to worry about coming back to a company and, paying $2,000 this font or update any of that stuff. So it just looks great. Please take a few minutes to look at our old terrible website just so that you can really feel the appreciation. I think the community is going to be blown away. Like it's going to make so much more sense for our patrons to get information from us, which is, you may have noticed, a big part of our job. So that's all the really exciting new business.
Is it going live immediately on the 16th, or is there going to be a little period of time for other staff to look at it before like an October 1 launch or something?
Yeah, I think we're going to just do an internal, share it with the staff. The staff really need a few, they need a week or two to really get familiar using it themselves. Otherwise, if patrons call up, it's going to be confusing to say, well, go on our website,
Yep.
A lot of go on the website and look here. So we want to give everybody some time to look at it. And then honestly, Todd and Julie have looked at it so much. I've looked at it a whole lot. We need fresh eyes to kind of look at it and make sure everything is spelled correctly. So it never hurts to do that, but we will give you certainly a sneak peek. You're going to be very impressed.
Look forward
Great.
to that. That's awesome.
Be glad to bang on it a little bit with some fresh eyes when it comes.
Any other questions or comments about new business?
What was that?
If you don't have any other questions, the other thing I should just mention, Alan, since we're here is we just finished the ARIS report, which is all the data we send to the state for state aid.
Okay.
So separate from this meeting, I'll reach out to you about, I'd like to just drop it off at your house, give you time to go over it, sign it, and then have you just put it back in the book drop for me, or you can come and get it, not a problem. And then,
Okay, I'm going to be heading out of town for a week or more to help my sister recover from knee replacement
oh, wow.
out in Syracuse. I'm probably leaving Saturday or Sunday, so I could come by. Is tomorrow good or?
Tomorrow's perfect. Yep.
Okay, I've got some books to drop off anyhow.
Awesome. If you just give me a call, just give me a 10-minute window and that'll be perfect. And then I'm working on the financial report. I need some more data from the city, and they are certainly swamped right now as well, but that's not due until October 2nd. But we've got a good headway, good planning in order for that. So those are just two things. It feels like those are the very normal things that we do even during a pandemic. Just the normal state. It's nothing too exciting or.
And is this the state you had said before was revisiting their guidelines and expectations and stuff, huh?
Yes, and it's 35 pages. So update you on that, but if I'm being perfectly frank, I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
It's basically really gonna, I think the big number will be, we'll be looking at big changes, I think, for 22. It's broken up into fiscal year 21 and 22. So I feel very confident about the 21. It's confusing because I'm giving them the fiscal year 20 data in fiscal year 21. But I feel confident about where we are right now, and I got to do a little more digging for 22.
Okay.
And can I just, for those at home that actually are maybe watching this and you're hearing about fiscal 21, we're in fiscal 21. The year that we're in for the library, as is the government, is July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 is fiscal 21. Kind of like your real estate taxes.
That is a very important point. Yes, not a calendar year. So we are in the start of the early start of our year.
Yep.
And then in terms I'm sorry.
Any other announcements, or does it pretty well cover them? You had talked about the yoga classes and book sale being canceled.
Yeah, that's about it right now. I'm one, I guess anecdotally, quick thing about that we're learning now with the staff that we've been saving for the new iteration of the world. We've been looking at our stats in terms of the state is now collecting, your live virtual programs and how many people are watching, but any subsequent views that you get for programs that you post on YouTube, for example. So just kind of interesting if you look at our pandemic, we did a program on a COVID vaccine. And so we had, X many live views that evening, which we recorded, but subsequently we've had quite a few views of people who's tuned in later on and watched it on YouTube later. So that's just been really interesting to look at the numbers And there's certainly, obviously the pandemic affects that, but we've all been talking about the fact that people really like the virtual programs. You know, it works well for people who have different schedules or can't leave the home. Of course, there's always the consideration for people who do and do not have internet service at home. That's concerning, but for people who have access to it, we've gotten a good response to some of our virtual programming. People seem to really, pandemic or not, people like having the ability to tune into a program, you know, the following week when maybe their schedule's a little bit more hectic. So it's great that we're now collecting all that data. It just gives us a different viewpoint for how to serve patrons.
Can you tell how many people, if any, are using the Wi-Fi service in the parking lot or at the picnic tables?
We actually can't get that separate data.
Okay.
We have a wireless use number, but it doesn't actually break out who's in the building. And the hard thing is that I'm on the wireless right now. I'm actually on the wireless for this meeting, but I'm also on the wireless on my phone. So it's hard to break that out. I mean, you track the usage, but it's also kind of, you know, the data is a little funny just because.
Okay. Yep.
My phone counts as one, my laptop counts as another right now as well. And it doesn't give us an exact location.
Okay, because anecdotally, they talk about libraries and McDonald's or that kind of stuff being places where I'm thinking of students once the schools open up, if they're doing a hybrid program or something of learning.
And they can, you know, honestly, the front lawn and all the benches and we have quite a few seating areas, and you can we walk around every day and you can see just patrons hanging out on the benches and the table to log on to the internet and use their own laptops, their own devices as well. So we're certainly seeing it. It's just not an item number that we break out. Good question.
Oh, all righty. That looks like that's pretty much it on the agenda. There are no other comments or suggestions. I'd welcome a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Steve with the motion, second.
Second. Martha.
All righty. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like the ayes have it. All righty. Well, good luck with the rest of your summer season here, and hope to see you all on October 8th.
Very good. Stay
All
healthy.
right.
All
Take
right.
care, everybody.
Well, take care, everybody. Yep, we'll see you. Bye-bye.